But it's more tragic, isn't it, when GPs, MDs will actually follow keto or low carb, high fat themselves, and then be terrified of telling their patients. I know a lot of GPs in this country who say, "Well, yeah, I do that, but you really think I'm going to take the risk of telling my patients that?" Because there's two things there, aren't there? What if I give them some sort of heart disease, and we know about Ansel Keys and that whole argument, and it's a bit too risky? Or secondly, going against the paradigm is really quite scary for a professional. And there's some people who know this is right, but they won't follow it for their patients. And that's tragedy.
Yeah, well, it's sort of, think of us all as belonging to different churches. So if you belong to the Church of the Conventional Wisdom, remember, and everybody you know belongs to the Church of the Conventional Wisdom, and saturated fat is bad for you, and the healthy diet is mostly plants, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, all that. If you start, some of these people are even afraid to try a low carb, high fat diet, a ketogenic diet, because if they do and it works, can we use scatological terminology? And they're
yeah.
Okay, I thought a lot about this because I've had when NuSI was active, our not-for-profit, and we work with these researchers, and I used to try and get them to experiment with high carb keto. They wanted to study it. They wanted us to raise millions of dollars so they could study things. And I would say, well, try it yourself, just so you understand what you're studying. Like, you want to know, does this inhibit appetite? Well, try it. See it.
Yeah.
You're curious, right? You're legitimately curious. If you're legitimately, that's how somebody suggested to me I try Atkins 20 years ago as an experiment. I did it because I was curious.
Yeah.
If you're not curious, if you're not willing to experiment on yourself, which you can do in nutrition, you can't do that in high energy physics. Nutrition, then. So I talked to these people and they'd give me explanations for why it was unscientific for them to experiment. And here was the way I thought about it. So imagine one day there's a knock at your door and you open the door and there's an old friend from college, right? And he looks terrific. Like in college, he was harried and overweight and worried all the time and sleep deprived. And he looks younger than he did in college. It's 20 years later. And he's just happy and glowing with health. And you say, geez, David, it's so great to see you. What happened? What are you doing? And he says, well, I've been attending seminars hosted by this guy, Reverend Moon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it just changed my life. I can't tell you. I mean, I sleep better. I dream better. I wake up refreshed. I never felt so great. And then he says, you look a little harried and sleep deprived and pale and pallid and worried and nervous. Why don't you come with me to one of Reverend Moon's seminars?
What's to lose?
What's to lose? And the question is, right, so now there are two possibilities. One is nothing. You go, you're sitting in the audience, you think this is the stupidest drivel you've ever heard. I can't believe I wasted my time. That's bad. The second is it works.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're one of them. You're a Mooney, right?
Yeah.
And now you have to go to all your friends and you're like, hi, how's it going? Great day, dude. And now you're the one trying to telling your friends they should come with you to the seminar. It's not a win-win. It's a lose-lose situation for these people. If we're a cult, if they do what we're suggesting and it works, it's not that they've informed themselves vitally important information about the nature of the problem they're confronting, which is excess weight. Now they're part of the cult.
Yeah.
Nothing good can come from that.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that they're healthier and we'd be healthier and happier, just like David is, right? If we did the Mooney things, my thought experiment. So it's really, there's a lot of social issues here that you're dealing with that transcend the science and the medicine and everything else. And they're fascinating intellectually and they're frustrating as all hell when you're trying to change the world, assuming we are more than just a cult and more than just,